welcome back to Total Spotfest. This is JJ Brownlee. That is Jamie Faulkner. We're coming back at you with another one of your regularly scheduled programs. We got a lot of wrestling to go over. We had our post-Thanksgiving Dynamite last night. Ups and downs, we're going to get all into it. We also got a lot of wrestling to prepare for this weekend because pay-per-views plenty. We got NXT 2.0, no more takeover in the titles. War Games coming up here.
War Games!
Yeah, I had to set Jamie up for that. We got War Games. We also got AAA. They finalized their TripleMania Regia card. I'm probably saying that wrong. Regina. I apologize, but
Regina.
Well, I think I'm totally getting it wrong because that's actually a city in Canada. It's in Saskatoon. So TripleMania card finalized for this weekend, as well as some GCW stuff going on. Some interesting things happening there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. If you are checking us out on YouTube, as we always say, you can just hit a comment down below if you want to join the conversation. Give us a like while you're down there. If you want to hear more, please tickle that subscribe button. I hate asking, but it does help us out quite a bit, like I always say. And if you want to just get in the conversation with us, otherwise, it's through Twitter. At Total Spotfest is the best way to do that. Or you can always check us out on our website, totalspotfest.com. So,
and tickle the like button.
Well, you could tickle it. You could tickle it. You could play nice with it. You can punch it in his face. You can do whatever you want to it. You know, I think it is the same end result there.
You know, I mean, I guess. So if you're saying that, I assume the like button might have a safe word.
Well, I said tickle the subscribe button. I think the like button is a static figure.
You think so? I mean,
as far as buttons go, it's, you know, because I don't feel like the like's not really a button; it's an icon technically. If we want to really want to split hairs here.
I mean, if you're saying tickle, punch, do whatever, you know, I feel like it has a safe word, and I feel like it's du hast Mitch.
All right, well, go down there and verbally accost the subscribe button while you're there.
And if you can get it to say it's safe word, please let us know.
if you tweet us if you find out what the subscribe button on YouTube safe word is. It's probably waive your privacy. Waive your privacy policy. Who knows? I'm sorry, YouTube. That's not what I meant to say. All right, well, we had an interesting week thus far, Jamie, because we started off the week with a great interview with Chris Mowry from Journey Pro.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris was a great interview. You know, I don't want to rank him, you know, for interviews, but if I had to, he was definitely in the top 5 that we've had, because I think we've had 5, so that makes it easy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of, it's top 5, so not going to...
We've had 5 interviews, so
I understand, but you're also not really okay. Well, it is what it is. There, you rank on that. Well, it was a great time. He's definitely a Journey Pro guy. That's what I really liked about that.
Total mark.
Totally tell.
He fits into the family. He's definitely a part of the Journey Pro family. Believes in the Journey Pro family. We've all welcomed him, you know, with open arms, if you will. No, I like him. I like what he brings. Him and Hartzell, their new breath of fresh air to an already solid product between DJ and Walter, just gets me titillated.
Yeah. Titillation. All right, so if you haven't heard it already, go check it out. I'll put the little balloon up over here so you guys can click on that and, you know, go check it out. That was a great little interview. He did not give any spoilers, no matter how much we tried. We always try poking the bear. DJ's like stonewalled. Walter, we can kind of crack a little bit. Chris was not forthright, so kudos to him. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, but
Yeah, I mean, especially like
trying.
it's his first interview as
after his first show as an owner.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course people are like, ooh, what do you got coming up next? And of course you want to say something, but he knows the game and it's appreciated.
I mean, yeah. So go listen to the interview. It's a great time. We're trying to lock down and trying to get Heart Soul so we can complete our own grand slam of Journey Pro owner interviews. The man's busy as shit. He has like 18 jobs. He's everything. So, but we're trying to work that out. We're also trying to do more interviews in general. I know Jamie and myself both really like it. We seem to get good response from everybody when we do the interviews. And since moving to this once weekly podcast, even though I know we've had pay-per-view specials because of Tuesdays.
I know. Basically, since we said it, we've still got on Monday or on Tuesday.
More than that. But real. So the reality is, our plan is, to have just once weekly do our podcast, and then separately on Tuesdays, what used to be the other, just have interviews that we'll release out. So we're working on that. We'll hope to get a lot more to you here before the end of the year and in the beginning of 22. So be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned as well. We hope that this weekend there's going to be formal announcements and stuff out there as far as ticketing goes, because December 17th is Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie, the next show. And so tickets are going to be on sale through JourneyProKC.com. It is at Blip Roasters, and I believe they're not having a show in January. So,
yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, because January is just a hard month.
Is right now. Yeah. So if you want to see some Journey Pro, that'll be the one for it. It's a week before Christmas. I think it's a great spot there because right before Christmas. So, more info to come, but if you want to just follow Journey Pro stuff, go check out our interview. Good stuff. So we'll get you more info as we get it along. I didn't want to talk about some of the pay-per-views like I mentioned that are coming up this weekend, but before we do that, let's recap what went on this past week as far as numbers. Jamie, what you got for numbers?
So numbers-wise, basically, if you were a WWE property, you did well. And if you weren't, you did not. But that also kind of a little, for the most part, kind of coincides with the holiday that was Thanksgiving in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna see one just absolutely get murdered, if you will.
And you can guess that right now, but go ahead.
Yeah. So Raw was up. This, of course, was the right after Survivor Series show, where Jamie got crowned as WWE champion. Pay-per-view champion. So the FWO has all 4 belts.
Yes.
Anyway,
numbers. Just keep moving along.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Raw did 1.699 million, up from 1.585. So over 100,000. So that's a pretty solid number.
This was their Long Island show, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah, Edge showed up, and then Edge called out AEW for to the Miz, hey, other shows are talking about you, blah blah blah.
And they advertised. I think it was dark, but there was a dark match after. But they advertised to try and get any ticket sales possible. Roman Reigns was there too, and they're doing whatever they can. I think final tickets were around 5,200. What they sold. AEW is up in the mid-8s right now. And I read an interesting quote from Sean Ross that sources inside of, or many in the upper echelon sources, whatever, inside of WWE, believe that Tony Khan's buying up tickets.
That's ego right there. No way anybody's better than us.
No, it's gotta be, he's just buying those tickets because he's rich. Brr.
Yeah. Hey, Vince, nothing's better than us. Nothing, Vince. God. Fucking
sorry, I didn't mean to put you in such a sour mood so early, but yes.
Oh, yeah. So going right into, hey, this is amazing. NXT 2.0 was up as well. So this was
from earlier this week, right? Or are you talking about this is for the Thanksgiving week?
Thanksgiving week.
Okay.
Thanksgiving week. They did a 625 up from 574.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for them.
Yeah. AEW did go down, but again, that's a travel day for a lot of people in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't want to obviously make that an excuse because it's still, like we all talked about, it was a great show. They went down to 898, down from 984. So, I mean, it was a solid 90,000 down.
10%, but okay.
Yeah. This one's tough to say. On Thursday, Impact.
On Thanksgiving night. Okay.
Thanksgiving night.
Terrible night to have a cable program.
Impact was at 129. They went down to 48.
All-time low. Yes.
48.
It was Thanksgiving night, and you knew this if you watched it. It's one of my favorite episodes of the year, honestly, because they did Wrestle House 2. So the whole thing was a scripted promo of a show. They had matches that were so Wrestle House was this like special that they did last year and a half ago, whatever it was, centered around the Rosemary's wedding story. And so this is kind of like the sequel to it. So Rosemary and DK, they transport all these people to this random house where it's like a reality show that they're living in. Caleb with the K is there, Madison Rain. You got Alicia Edwards, Johnny Swinger and the Swingerellas, and Dino and Hernandez. And the whole thing is that Dino offers, because Dino is who Rosemary was trying to marry last time to get his virginal blood, but he got shot at the wedding, and it was amazing. And so anyway, so total camp. They had some cool matches that they kind of like would transport to. They had like Caleb versus Chris Sabin, and then there was like a women's tag match, and then there was some fun stuff with it, but it was a lot of cheese, a lot of camp. And it's Thanksgiving night. They're like, we're not going to have anybody watching this, so just put something out there. Let's have fun.
And they were right.
Let's have fun.
They were right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, though. So
yeah. Then after that, SmackDown was up. They went up from 2.064 to 2.149.
Interesting on Black Friday. That's okay.
Yeah, 80,000. Yeah, because then conversely, AEW got Rampage just got popped in the mouth.
Did not do well. It's the lowest Rampage.
All-time low.
Yeah.
Yeah, all-time low for everything. Demographics, everything. Obviously, they went from a 556 to a 431.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's bad.
Well, let's see what they do for this week here, because once again, don't want to put too much stock in it, other than, of course, Impact, definitely. But I mean, being around the holidays, we'll see.
All the WWE homers would be like, "Oh, well, WWE did fine on Black Friday." Blah blah blah. Well, it's on Fox.
It is on Fox.
And it's from 7 to 9.
And it does surprise me that they went up. Like, I thought they would, still be Black Friday. They still would be around the same. No, they didn't go up a lot, though, right?
No, they went up of 80,000.
Okay, 5%, 5-6%.
I mean, damn near double what Impact did. Period.
It's true. Well, stop picking on Impact.
I mean, it's kind of easy right now.
It is, and I guess, but if you're looking at that number alone, that doesn't tell the whole story. This week, so tonight, Jonah makes his Impact TV debut. So
I'm excited for
that. Yes, please. It's back to a regular show. Oh, it's taped. They did. It's still in Vegas tapings. I think the Vegas tapings are going to take them through Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill's in Dallas, and I think they're doing tapings around Hard to Kill in Dallas as well.
Oh, cool.
So, like that, I think that's kind of their plan, is that they're going to basically go somewhere for pay-per-view and then make a long week out of it. So, or 2 weeks, have pay-per-view, then do several days of tapings, so they can go for the next couple months, then have another pay-per-view, couple of days of tapings, because after Dallas, I think they're back in Tennessee. I want to say Chattanooga, but it could be Nashville. again. But anyway, that's kind of Impact's plan moving forward, from what I can tell.
That's cool.
There is some news out there, out and about. So you gave numbers for the 2 AEW promotions. They do have 2 other things that they do, Dark and Dark Elevation. And good fun, like I said, they're actually doing pretty well as far as YouTube shows goes, and that does count into like this broader picture of stuff. I know that some people don't like to think that it does, but it really does. I mean, when you're getting several 100,000 or million views on things, that's a lot of ad buys, and ad revenue is a thing on YouTube. So, and I enjoy watching them. I don't, sometimes I'll skip through a lot of stuff, just kind of see who I want to see. But this past week, if you watched Dark specifically, there was a new wrestler who debuted. Somebody you did not know was coming. And it was one Mr. Infinito. Now, this was a luchador what?
Infinito and beyond.
Well, Justin Roberts' entrance of him was fantastic, because it's like coming from a place that is so far above and beyond all galaxies or something of that nature, right? The infinite realm or whatever it was, weighing more than you could possibly imagine.
So good.
Infinito. So he's full lucha get up, so full suit luchador, black outfit with gold, kind of outlines, and then had like a red infinity on his face, around his eyes, and on his chest. Full luchador, whatever. The hugabaloo is that apparently that's Bryan Danielson. This is very much a Impact Wrestling kind of rehash where Christopher Daniels was Suicide, or Christopher Daniels was Curry Man. Same diff. The reason being why everybody believes it is Bryan Danielson is when he's in WWE, he flowed the idea he really wanted to do a luchador character as kind of a secondary thing. He really wanted to do some more luchador stuff, but it didn't fit the Daniel Bryan character. So he's like, what if I do a luchador thing? I can just kind of pop in here and there, house shows, stuff like that, right? Shot him down, right? So everybody's like, and you look at him, it's about the size of Bryan Danielson. It looks like it could be, so...
He looked a little smaller.
It's hard to tell because he's all black and
that's fair.
It's really hard to tell, So I was looking for defining characteristics. All I know is that it is a white guy because his hands was the only thing showing. There's no gloves and his white hands. That's it. So maybe Bryan Danielson has 2 separate wrestling gimmicks. I think that's cool if it is.
Yeah, that'd be different.
There was other news coming out of AEW. I know you wanted to talk about something not as positive.
I think
don't have to put it that way. It's not about. Go ahead. You talk about it.
Yeah. So news came out earlier this week that AEW and Big Swole have decided not to renew her contract. It was a mutual decision, and they amicably, I can't even talk.
Amicably?
They amicably, thank you. Parted ways.
There you go.
Yes, it was not a firing. It wasn't anything like, old Johnny Ace giving him a call, anything like that. So, yeah, I think in the long run, I think that's probably good for Swole, because she wasn't really getting used at all, and she had some stuff going on and things like that. So, I think it was a good move for her. Where she's not necessarily tied down to AEW, and I hope it works out for her. And it's the beginning of what a lot of people are talking about, that there's a lot of contracts getting ready to expire, and don't know if AEW is going to renew them or not.
Yeah, there's a good amount of people who signed on when the company first started. So.
Yep. She's one of them.
It's been about 3.5 years now, right? So you're getting to that point where contracts are getting up or coming up close to it. We've talked a lot about this too. Well, I don't like to use these terminologies, but the thinning of the herd or whatever stuff that WWE has done. But AEW is at a point where they can't just sign everybody, but some of the people who maybe aren't getting the push they want or didn't quite work out or there's extenuating circumstances, which I think Swole fits into perfectly. She's gone for a while with all of her health issues, and everybody was 100% behind her the whole time and everything, but it just wasn't working out. And you get to a point where booking wise, you can't rest your laurels on that. It's like you have other women and you want to move it forward. You got to do what you got to do. That's why Tay's getting the push. That's why Ruby's brought in. I think it's for the better, and it was weird because it didn't give the inclination that she's retiring from wrestling, but it also didn't give the inclination that she's just like, I'm looking for my next spot. It's kind of this chapter's done. Let's see where life takes me from here, sort of thing, is what it felt like.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel like Nia Jax, her saying that, she's probably not going to wrestle again. It wasn't like that.
Which didn't really surprise me when I heard that. I know we're not talking about...
It didn't surprise me either, because she even said, made fun of everybody saying, her new ring name, she said her real name on there, and then it was and then she was like, oh, but the hurt machine or something like that, the opponent hurt machine or whatever it was, might have been a good name, but then she's like, if I ever wrestle again, that's probably what I'll do.
Oh, and
So, yeah, I mean, there's the different sides of the coin there. She was fired. Big Swole left on her own accord, which I think
for the most part, I mean, there was the Jimmy Havoc. That was kind of a bad situation as it came out, and there's substance involved. But everybody else has pretty much left AEW for the most part. Has been pretty amicably. Like Kylie Ray, when she left AEW, it was very mutual type, same sort of thing. She went, asked for her release. She says, "This isn't what I was really looking for." Tony's like, "Hey, that's cool, whatever, yo." So it speaks, homers on both sides are going to be what they are going to be, but I think that just speaks a lot to the character of Tony Khan as well as the production of AEW, that it's like, hey, we can have this conversation, we can come up with a solution without being, contract this and money that, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, I am sorry. Pardon me there. Getting over a cold, folks. So, all right. There wasn't a whole lot of other news out and about. If you wanted to, we talked about this on our interview when we reviewed Journey Pro, that over the last 2 weekends ago, St. Louis Anarchy had their last show, which their most recent show, which had Jeremy Wyatt versus Gary J3. The no time limit, there must be a winner championship match where Gary J, spoiler, won the belt from the non-lion tamer doing Jeremy Wyatt. And if you want to go watch that match, which I haven't yet, but I'm definitely going to, it's on St. Louis Anarchy's YouTube. So, hey, if you guys outside of the St. Louis, Kansas City, Midwest area want to see these people we keep talking about, here's a perfect example, because by all counts, this was but both of their matches they had before. We saw one live. I watched the other one on Twitch when they had it, and these two just go. So go check that out.
They absolutely do. They do.
Before we get to Dynamite, we do want to talk about this weekend. So we do have, like I said, multiple pay-per-views this weekend. We have a belt up for grabs because Megan the Tyrant currently holds the NXT title, and there is a War Games pay-per-view coming up this Sunday.
Games. Sorry.
So you're fine. No, I expect it every time I say the word War Games.
War Games.
So we will have we'll get our picks out there this weekend, and then we'll convene. And we're not going to do another special just for War Games on Tuesday, but
War Games.
We'll give you okay. We get the point, but we will definitely keep you guys abreast next Thursday with who the winner. It's gonna be this guy. I'm gonna get a belt back. I'm gonna get a belt under my name again. Who the winner of that belt is. So Jamie gets that. He's only one belt away from being a Grand Slam champion. I'm just saying, and then he gets his logo. But the card is light because it's a War Games pay-per-view. So
War Games.
Yes, sir. So there's 2 War Games matches. Don't do this every time I say War Games, please, God.
War Games.
Or do. Fuck it, I don't care. So, all right. You've got, and the way this is being billed is Team Old School versus Team New School for the men's War Games match.
War Games.
I'm not kidding. That's how it's being booked. So you have Tommaso Ciampa, who's the NXT champion, Johnny Gargano, who's turning face again, by the way, has teased the whole Rebel Heart intro, which is cool.
Oh.
Pete Dunne and LA Knight on one team, which I am all for.
Believe they consider LA Knight Old School. Because I know that guy should be a main eventer, but
he should. But if you're looking at this, he's definitely of the two. He's definitely. Of the 2 teams, he definitely fits more into that one.
100%.
So it's them going up against Braun Breaker, Tony D, whatever the fuck that Italian gimmick is. Carmelo Hayes, and I don't even know who this 4th guy is, and the website I'm looking at doesn't have this dude's name, so some other new dude. Anyway, Old School versus New School, right? So the women's... Go ahead.
No, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I got nothing, guys.
I mean, you've got DIY and LA Knight and Pete Dunne on a team. That alone is cool. So
yeah, fair enough.
Could be Johnny Gargano's last match in NXT too.
Maybe.
I mean, he extended his contract to go through War Games, but he's apparently been in talks with NXT and WWE about contracts. So Adam Cole was too, though. So we'll see. Then the women's match, you have Toxic Attraction, which is all the champions on the women's side: Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and JCJ, and Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, and Kaylee Ray.
And what match was this again?
This is the women's War Games match.
War Games!
Which is interesting from this point that last year's women's War Games match had Dakota and Raquel on opposite teams, where Raquel started her big push by getting the victory by decimating Io inside of the cage. So, anywho.
I do remember that. That big 1-arm powerbomb. That was amazing.
In between the rings, too. It was
the hardest part of the rings.
From the second rope. It was sick. And I remember Io had gotten, because she got jumped before, so she climbed to the top of the outside of the cage with a trash can put on herself and then did a dive across them all from the top of the cage into the cage.
That was awesome. Yeah.
I love you, Io. So, those are the 2. That's going to be the lion's share of your time. So you only have a couple other matches besides that. You've got Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson in a hair versus hair match.
Yep. I don't think he's going to the moon anymore.
So I love the fact that when we mentioned Cameron Grimes in our interview with Chris, that he's like, and I loved him so much and I'm just like, saw Jamie's face turn. I was like, ha ha ha, I'm not alone. You're alone. You sir.
That's fine.
Anywho, my how the gimmicks have gone back. Then you have Roderick Strong defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy is that whole the guy was getting all the heat a little bit ago for his promos about being the woke warrior or whatever. And I honest to God, I actually do kind of like, from what I've seen of it, the Diamond Mine as it's kind of formed. this is doing the right thing with these, you know, new kids, right? So you've got Malcolm Bivens as the mouthpiece. You've got the veteran Roderick Strong as your leader, and you've got this good young tag team and Ivy Nile, who's just a little pit bull, you know, power woman, you know. So that's how, to me, this is the right way. Some of these other talents that I see come across in NXT, because I catch it from time to time, bits and pieces, right? I haven't totally abandoned NXT. I just don't really, you know, go out of my way to watch it anymore, but I'll catch it for a little bit here and there. If nothing else on, yeah, sure, right? Yeah. Okay. And so, like, stuff like, you know, the Italian guy, which they're forcing down our throat, or Braun Breaker, who out of nowhere is challenging for the championship. That's the wrong way, I think, to push some of these young unknowns. But I like the way they're doing Diamond Mine finally. Kind of what they should have done the whole way. But anywho, I digress. So, Cruiserweight Championship, Joe Gacy, Roderick Strong. And then the only other match is the Tag Team Title Championship match, which is Imperium, the champions, versus Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner, in what could be Kyle O'Reilly's final NXT match, potentially.
Yeah. How about that? Like, the Undisputed Era could all end up in AEW.
I really think it's going to happen, honest to God. Johnny Gargano, I'm not so convinced with. I don't know if... A big part of me says that he's going to continue. He's going to resign. I really think that.
I bet he does I will resign for the rest of my wife's contract and you will not extend her. And we will both leave at the same time.
That would make sense. But especially with her out on paternity leave right now, because you don't know the way WWE does their contracts, even with NXT stars. When you have injuries or things like that, or maternity, things like this, they basically consider that timeline a pause for your length of term. So if you were 6 years and you're out for 6 months, that 6 years is actually a 6 year and 6 month contract now. They basically tack that missed time at the end, so to force you to stay longer without them having to renegotiate.
Yeah, they have the ability to do that, yeah.
Because they're independent contractors, they can do that.
Exactly.
So that is War Games.
War Games!
We will give you results and potentially a new champion next week. So that's on Sunday.
It's staying in the house of the World Order. It's going to stay in the World Order.
You should hope to get it to you, Jamie, because that's the quickest way for you guys to get to a single person as a Grand Slam, so you can get your logo. If you get that title, all you need to do is when Revolution comes around, if you get that, then you'd have the 4 belts.
And that's the hardest one to get, because Megan has dominated the...
I don't think Megan's... We tied once, and I took it from her pending our 3rd overtime tiebreaker, you know, for like a week. Yeah. That's the only time she lost an AEW pay-per-view since AEW's been around. We've been doing these picks personally before, you know, because we always would get together, Jamie's house, my house, you know, whatever. Yeah. And we would do these kind of for fun on the side. And she's never lost an AEW one. That was the only time it came close. So yeah, we shall see. But that's on Sunday. Before that, you have other good pay-per-view action going on. So GCW actually has a Saturday and a Sunday show. So they do their pay-per-views as weekends. So they have Saturday, they have 2 nights, sometimes 3. Like for All Out Weekend, they had 3.
Yep.
Plus, I think Effie's Big Gay Brunch is kind of tied into that too. So they had like 3 in a day and the whole thing. But they have 2 nights going on in Texas for their next pay-per-view shows. So there's a lot going on. It's available on Fight TV, so definitely worth checking out. It's in Dallas, I believe. Yeah. So it's called So Alive, or Alive. GCW Alive. Not sure. Okay. But it's on it's on Fight TV. Go to GCW on Twitter. You see it. There's a lot of stuff going on. So you have the Briscoes defending their tag titles. You had Everett Connors and his wife going up against the Second Gear Crew. Thunder Rosa going up against Alley Catch. And then you have Fuego del Sol is making his GCW debut. Joey Janela, one of your favorites, is going to be back there wrestling. There's a ton of stuff going on. So definitely worth checking out. If you've never seen a GCW show, do yourself a favor. Order one of them or the package deal. Watch the replays. It's well worth your time.
Absolutely. Big fan. Big fan.
Now, their next show is coming up on the 17th, so they don't have all their storylines tied into these shows. So it might actually be a little cheaper to do it. So, like, for example, you have Matt Cardona and Effie, their blood feud's continuing more on the 17th. You've also got Blake, what was it? Blake Christensen? What's he going by now? Yeah, Blake Christensen. Blake Christian.
That's his real name. Blake Christian.
Blake Christian. I don't know. I think even Christensen. Blake Christian. He's fighting against Bandito. Oh, yes.
Yes.
You've also got Fatu. You got Brody King making his GCW return on the 17th. That's their show in LA. So the LA Fights is basically going to take off after that. So it's supposed to start in January. LA Fights is the GCW kind of West Coast branch. So this is their show in LA on the 17th. And then after that, the West Coast show is going to be kind of put on by LA Fights. So lots of GC stuff coming on, but there's 2 shows this weekend, and then you got the 17th as well. So finally, this weekend, this is probably the pay-per-view that I'm going to watch, honest to God. So, excuse me. So, Saturday night is the next AAA pay-per-view. TripleMania, Regia, I don't know. Regia 2021. So, this has got a lot of large matches, let's put it that way. So, you've got multiple person matches, 6-person tag match, all sorts of stuff like that. So you've got a women's match that is a 6-person tag match. You have, because this lucha, if you've never seen a Mexican promotion, never seen AAA or Mexican promotion, there is a bit of campiness to it just in its nature. So there's a Marvel partnership match that they have, like they do every time. You're going to have Lucha Hulk, you'll have Lucha Iron Man, you'll have Lucha Thanos, whatever. You're going to have some of that. You've got the 2 big matches that were announced previously are the Tag Championship match, which is still going on, which is FTR versus the Lucha Brothers. FTR is the current champions. Of course, they won them as Los Super Ranas on Dynamite, but you have that going on.
Yeah.
And then you have the Mega Championship match, which I'm going to get to in a second, because
they
finalized
that's the one yeah.
They also have, though, a 6-person tag match. It's Pagano, Psycho Clown, and Cain Velasquez versus LA Park, Rhea Scorpion, and Taurus, or Black Taurus, if you watch Impact. So, yeah, Cain Velasquez in AAA. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
You also got Sam Adonis making making an appearance there, and then they recently updated for the main event because it was supposed to be Hijo del Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. But Kenny Omega had to vacate the title due to his shoulder injury and everything, right? So they now have it as a 6-person match. I don't even know what you'd call that. A
six-pack challenge?
A 6-pack challenge, whatever it is. I apologize. It's a 5-way challenge. So it's the Pentagon of Doom. I don't know. But
ooh,
you
as
have
long as Pentagon's in it.
Not Pentagon, yeah. He's in another match. So you've got Hijo del Vikingo still in the match, right?
Yeah.
Samurai del Sol, the former Kalisto, Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish, like we announced. The fifth combatant, Bandito.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
No Andrade.
No Andrade on the card. No.
But Bandito's okay.
I'm happy for that. I think it'd be great to have Andrade. I think Andrade should have won the title at the last TripleMania when he had one-on-one against Kenny Omega. But
I agree.
I'm happy with this. I think Bandito probably needs the booking more, but I think it fits well because you look at this. I mean, you've got a lot of flippy spinny shit going on in this match. Even with Bobby Fish is not so much the flippy spinny guy. Jay Lethal maybe not as much as he used to be, but they can do it. Hey, del Vikingo, Samurai del Sol definitely are. Bandito fits like right in the middle of all that. So it's a good mix of style. And these five, this match is going to be a fucking banger. I'm just saying right now.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
So
we'll have a fair share of botches probably, but you know what? It's still going to be a banger.
There's always some botching going on in TripleMania because I mean there's like lucha rules. There's no such things as like one at a time on anything. So you without a doubt you'll have some botches, but it'll be interesting to see. So that's going on. And this Saturday, I said I'm gonna check that one out. That one's for me. It's only $20 on Fight TV. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. So
yeah. It's not bad.
That's what we got for this week and coming up here. Let's talk about what has already transpired. Last night was Dynamite, Jamie.
Yeah, it was. And it was a pretty solid show. Do I think it was like one of their best ever? No. Do I think it was one of their worst ever?
Definitely
no.
Not.
It was more middle of the road.
It was a standard show, I would say, is a good way.
Yeah, because I mean they're setting up everything for Winter is Coming. Nice Game of Thrones reference here. So you know me with my Game of Thrones references, it's gonna happen. So
second year in a row they're using that moniker too. So
yeah, and the last one Sting showed up. So
and it's where Kenny Omega won the belt.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. I don't think. I hope it's not, Bryan Danielson winning the belt off of Hangman so damn fast. I will be pissed.
You will not be alone, but
I can see it happening.
We'll talk about winners coming at the end here. Let's leave our fancy booking aside because.
All right, so they open up with a match. They did have Adam Hangman Page on commentary for this match, and he didn't exactly do a whole lot of commentary, but he was there. He was mainly there for the aftermath of said match. Alan Angels versus Bryan Danielson. And if you are an idiot and thought Alan Angels would win, you are sorely incorrect. It was Bryan Danielson with a awesome heel hook. It looked great. Like
another different way to win.
Yeah, tons of submissions. He's done a whole bunch of different submissions. He needs to do a goddamn lion tamer.
Why don't you tweet his ass and tell him that?
He's not very much on the Twitters. I could tweet at his wife. It's like, hey, why you can't do one, so have your husband do it. Or tell Birdie to tell him.
Yeah, that's a good way to make it happen. Sure, Jamie. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Anyway, so this match, I mean, it was a really good match. Alan Angels he looked great. I enjoyed this match. It was technically sound. It had a lot of good pieces, good pace, good everything. It was a solid match.
It was a good match. It was entertaining. It wasn't terribly long, like you said. And JR is out till possibly the homecoming, the Jacksonville show, because he's getting skin cancer treatment. So they had a rotating door of guest commentators all night.
Yeah, the main ones were just Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. They had Taz in there. They have Taz later. They just had a rotation. So good point out there. So before we get into the promos, I do want to run through the rest of the card.
Yeah,
I just wanted to really
fast. Let's just plow through.
Yeah. So Lee Moriarty versus CM Punk, and Lee Moriarty lost. So CM Punk won that one. Big shocker. AC Adams versus Wardlow in the worst squash match of the century.
Local talent, AC Adams.
Yeah, Brooklyn Brawler 36. Yeah, so Wardlow got the win there. The Gun Club, or Ass Boys, if you will, with Austin Gunn. So it was Colton and Billy versus Darby and Sting. Darby and Sting, of course, get the win there.
Colton's first loss in AEW, which is still an interesting thing to say at this point in time.
100%. Like, no one, I didn't see that one coming whatsoever. And arguably the match of the night.
Oh, I'd argue for this a lot, and we'll talk about it more in depth in a second.
I mean, and it's not a hard argument, in my opinion. That's where I was definitely going to go with it. Again, 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. I said the last one. You were on the other end of this, I said last
one. I was a little bit off, but yeah.
Yeah. I said the last week women's match was match of the week. And this one, again, match of the night. Kris Statlander versus Ruby Soho for the quarterfinals to advance to go see Nyla Rose in the semifinals. Right. And yes, Ruby Soho did win, and she has advanced. It was very, very good. And then the main event, which was a really good match too. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. A lot more than I was expecting.
A lot more. Yeah, exactly more than I was expecting to.
Andrade El Idolo with Jose the assistant, and Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson, who took a nasty spill and almost fell bad, but they're able to save him.
The stage. He fell off the entry stage.
But this match was amazing. Cody Rhodes ends up getting a win in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, to a spattering of boo.
Atlanta street fight. So once again, we're doing street fights based on cities, because that's the thing now. Apparently, it's just like I guess you can't just call it a street fight. It's got to be a X location. Insert location street fight.
So what does an Atlanta street fight have?
It was just a street fight. There wasn't, like, at least Minnesota's Minneapolis street fight was at least themed, to give you the feigning of whatever.
I was expecting to see peaches being thrown. I was expecting to see some Chick-fil-A getting thrown around. Like, that's what I think of. Coke. I expected some Coke bottles getting thrown around, but no, it was just a stupid street fight with a table that was lit on fire that they went through, and it looked like freaking Cody Rhodes had a bad sunburn and it was peeling off his back, but it ended up being flame retardant.
So we'll start with this one then. So
I want to start with this one.
Let's start with this one.
So good.
So you're right. So the match started off hot and heavy. Arn falls off the stage. Lucky he lands like right on like the substructure there, but it was like, Jesus Christ, Arn. And they just got going at it. Jose brought a bag full of like knives and axes and shit, which is like, okay, we're going down this route, huh? I mean, they started off strong, heavy, went through the crowd. It was all the street fair stuff you want to see, right? So there's good spots. You had all this crazy stuff, chain being used, and trash can lids, and chairs, and this and that, and and then they get to the end. And you're right, though. The whole time you're looking there, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And even Taz says, "Look, he got stuff on his back." And Excalibur's like, "Well, he got something from the trash can that he threw. He got all on him, because he had his entire back was like peeling from a sunburn." And you're like, "My God, Cody, really?" And then you realize, because here comes a masked person. It's Brandy Rhodes. A masked person comes out, the hood on, takes the hood off. It's Brandy Rhodes. Everybody knew it was her. She has 2 cans of lighter fluid. There's a table already set up in the ring. She empties both cans. Takes an extremely long time to do it, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then lights it on fire. And then immediately you're like, oh, that's the anti-fire retardant that he had on him, which is all gone now because of all the shots that these two were doing on each other the whole time.
Yeah, he sweat it off for sure.
Well, he does this like reverse DDT
where
thing.
he landed through it and not Andrade.
And he caught on fire, literally. Now, I don't mean like Abyss at, Monsters Ball on fire. But a part of him, part of the table, because basically it sat there and burned for a bit. So the folding table is like particle board with like a veneer on the top. So she had put the amount of lighter fluid she put on there basically had lit the veneer and separated it from the particle board. So when he landed, those burning pieces of like plasticky wood with glue, one of them got stuck to his arm and he rolled over to make the pin while his arm is burning and part of it falls on Andrade and he's putting himself out. It was very, and he gets the win, but it was, I mean,
I like this movie. This movie, Jesus, Jamie. I like this match, but the thing that got me about this match was they are legit in Atlanta, Georgia, Cody Rhodes' hometown, and it was not 50-50. It was an easy 75-25 of boos to cheers for Cody Rhodes.
I mean, what they were doing, and here's the part that really stuck out to me with that is, first of all, there was all sorts of signs. Like there was a sign at ringside that said "Turn, Cody, turn." I like that, but they did the John Cena. You all saying Codelander. I'm saying AEW's John Cena. They did the John Cena thing to him. Let's go, Cody. Cody sucks. Let's go, Cody. Yes. Cody sucks. And that was pretty close to 50-50. Maybe 60-40 at most. But yeah, you're right. And of course, Twitter immediately took a blaze. See what I did there? After it was done, with all the things about, it's like you're so desperate trying to put yourself over, you have to do things like use a flaming table spot, Cody. It's like, just accept being heel.
It's fine. Just accept your destiny.
It's really not that bad. And if you do it the way like Jamie's been suggesting, it doesn't really change anything for your character, really.
Exactly. Like if you go the Codelander route, you think you're good. You think you're doing everything for the right reasons, but it's wrong. And in your mind, you're doing everything right because you're a sociopath and he can tap into that and still say he's not a heel to his kids, because I know that's the big thing for him, but he really is. And that's the big part.
Yeah, it doesn't matter with kids, but also like he's like the face and there's all these charity things and all that stuff. You can still do all that.
Yeah.
That's outside of the ring. That doesn't matter. And in the ring, you believe you're the good guy. And outside the ring, you're still the face of the company. Who cares, right? Nobody at charity thing is going to be like, oh, but you're a dick. Fuck you, at the cancer ward. No. It's still
everybody knows you're playing a part. Everybody knows you're playing a part.
It's a goddamn role. Ric Flair was the best at that because Ric Flair was the heelest of heels and got praised everywhere he went. He'd do other appearances and people would love him and he'd do this and he'd do that. And he's the dirtiest player in the game, right? It's a role. It's not... I'm getting to the point where I was just like, no, it's not going to do it. Just get over it. But I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to get annoyed like you are. That's just like, just do it. Who cares? Who really gives a fuck at this point, right?
Yeah, just get her done.
You're not going to get more over trying to force feed that you're the baby face anymore. Just go with it. Go with it.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, too, when he turns heel, you know what he's going to get instead of boos? Cheers. Because people want it. People want it. And one of the things that AEW promises that they were going to listen to their fans. And their fans are saying, you need to be a goddamn heel. Like, I want a lion tamer. You need to be a heel. It makes sense.
They listen to their fans on everything except for Cody's bit. Cody's not listening to the fans. He's just going, no. I know better than you do. Whereas Everybody else, I mean, they roll with the punches. They go with how it goes, and
I
Cody,
mean,
get on the program, man.
The Bucks listened to the fans, and they easily turned heels. Like, yeah, let's go. And
Let's
people,
do
I
it.
love them as heels. They're probably my favorite heels because they're so over the top obnoxious about it.
Yeah, they're the heeliest of heels, in like in the Deadpool fourth wall breaking sense. You're not wrong. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to take for him to finally get convinced to come over there. It's going to have to take many kind of sit downs with TK, I think, for him and Tony to be like, listen, you need to do this. Trust me, I think
trust the fans.
the fans want this. They don't you don't like getting booed. Well, then, either shift to be the person who takes those boos or listen to them and do what we tell you, because
have you watched Heels on Stars?
I haven't
I watched it. I enjoyed it, actually. I know some people didn't enjoy it. I thought it was fairly funny, and it was enjoyable for me. And I might be in the minority for that. It got picked up for a second season, so I must not have been, but whatever. There was this one of the main characters, that was his whole thing. He didn't want to be turned heel because he loved the cheers, he loved it. But then when people started booing him, it ate him up inside and turned him into this like terrible person. And like they forced him to turn heel, like his brother and everybody like basically forced him to turn heel. And then he finally accepted his destiny as a heel, and he ended up being a really good heel. And like, I mean, also a terrible human being at some extent because it's a TV show. But same thing. Like they did everything to do that and to get him to turn heel. And I feel like they might just need to do that, set it up.
I mean, I thought they were doing that with Arn Anderson. That was the whole Arn gimmick, with the Glock and all that shit. And they quickly pivoted out of that. I don't know.
Which was sad. Yeah.
You guys let us know what your thoughts are. I mean, because it's to me, it's obvious that it's Cody holding this storyline from going anywhere else.
Yeah,
very blatantly obvious, especially after watching him on Road to the Top.
Yeah,
just get over yourself, Cody. Other things on the show here. I'm gonna save Ruby here, but first match, like I said, was pretty good. The Lee Moriarty match was Lee Moriarty looked great, and I know CM Punk put him over quite a bit in that match, but he looked really good. So good on that Punk for being that guy.
That guy's gonna be good in like 3 or 4 years, like really good.
Yeah,
he's just cutting his teeth now. Is he there a little early? But
he's like 6 years in. He's not super green, but he's done a lot of like small promotions, so a lot of traveling small stuff. So you gotta get the big rhythm.
Yeah, I mean that was good.
MJF promo. Words of wisdom.
The MJF promo was fun. It was not as good as the first one, but it was definitely pretty damn good.
It wasn't. It was Ghostbusters 2, it was.
Yeah. I mean, the highlight of that promo for me was MJF wearing a Hanukkah suit. Like that was really great for me. I'm not Jewish or anything. I just love the suit, and I love that he's not
like
afraid.
A Tipsy Elf suit, so it's like the all over Hanukkah print. It was nice. It didn't go with the scarf at all. So I hope I can't wait. I kind of want, when they're in Long Island next week, I kind of want him to actually get cheered.
I do too. It's weird.
Everywhere he goes, he's been selling the Long Island show. That's his home. He's from Long Island. So he keeps saying about that. And I kind of want a payoff of like a Long Island crowd that is actually mostly behind him. So that I think that would booster this just the biggest heel persona even more, because it's like, oh, he actually has a place that,
Mm-hmm. And he's a part of a battle royal next week, and is it just like the same Survivor Series battle royal? It's just meaningless, or like does it actually have anything?
This is for the final 2 left in the battle royal. Mm-hmm. I think the next week at Winter is Coming. wrestle for the diamond ring, the Dynamite diamond ring. That's the point of the Battle Royal.
Oh, it's for the diamond ring again?
Yes, the final two, and that's part I don't really understand. So the Battle Royal, and then when they get 2 people left, the next week they wrestle in a match for the winner gets the ring. The ring's now an annual thing.
Which he's the 2-time defending champ.
2-time defending champion, yes.
I'll put money on that he becomes 3-time because like the ring suits him.
The ring is a part of his character for sure. I don't know who else
unless they have Wardlow win. Unless they have Wardlow win it.
I would love to see Wardlow win it. I would love to see Wardlow eliminate MJF.
Same.
So he's part of the final 2 against whoever else, right?
Or Wardlow and MJF are the final 2.
That would be interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. Never mind. I don't want that. I want that saved because that is a long-term booking payoff.
That's a bigger payoff that I want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, Wardlow's got to do more than just 4 power bombs and a pin. You know, that's what he did in the match. The match against Local Talent was 4 power bombs and a pin.
It was terrible. Like
it was fine.
It was not a good match. It was just like, okay, we get it. Wardlow's big and strong. That's what I got out of it. Okay, got it.
Here's your TV time. Don't make it too long.
So one of the things that I really, really, really liked, and probably for all the wrong reasons, was the Miro video package.
It's interesting because it was a video package, but it was still a promo against God, but wasn't him kind of in the back stewing. It's him on like a big white screen.
Yeah, like he's surrounded by light. And
like he's outside the pearly gates, I think was the implication, right?
Yeah, he's going to run down as God, before he issues a challenge to anybody else. And it's like, he's like, you've pissed me off, you've forsaken me again, and he goes off on that, and he's like, first, I thought it was my fault, but I found out that you're an idiot, God, or something like that.
Yeah, he's feuding harder with God now, which.
And I love how he says "my God" and not just God, because then it's a play on him and not anybody else. Sure. It's very, very, very well done, and I'm just eating it up like it's just.
I love it.
Pudding.
I love this, and he's got a new tagline now. The Redeemer has spoken, so that's gonna be a T-shirt coming soon.
If it's not black, I'm a buyer. Like I'm just over black.
It's gonna be black.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're 100% right.
Right. And then there's a bunch of little promos here and there. Leo Rush had a promo, whatever. They're all going to be in the Battle Royal, and Dante Martin's part of Team Taz. Yay. Jericho had a promo where he gets jumped by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. So that's the thing. Adam Cole came out for commentary and then didn't do commentary because Orange Cassidy came out. And then the Bucks jump him, and that's the feud now, I guess. So
I don't want that because I want Jungle Boy and Adam Cole to continue because yes, they've had their match, but I still want it to continue.
I think that's better. I mean, I like Orange Cassidy versus Adam Cole. I think you want to have that at some point, right?
Yeah, just not right now. I feel like feels like it's rushed.
It does, but then again, that might be something with maybe they have different placement for Jungle Boy, so maybe they need to pop something else in there. I feel like they're doing a lot of holders for Adam Cole until he gets more pieces, i.e. either Kevin Steen or Kyle O'Reilly, and with Omega being out with an injury right now, I think that's pushing off the whole elite split angle as well. I agree. Coming. Everybody agrees that that's going to happen one day.
So I think this is what I think, and this is Jamie fantasy booking again, like I love to do. I really think that they did this Orange Cassidy thing with Adam Cole because in 2 weeks there should be potentially 1 or 2 people that have their contracts expired.
So
that would be available to
back
be
to
there.
winter is coming. We talked about something big is going to happen. So this is what you're getting at. You're talking about a surprise. So
it gets him in a match. Yeah, it gets Adam Cole in a match for a Kyle O'Reilly or potentially a Johnny Gargano to show up.
Okay.
Somebody from his past, and then it could either be a good thing or a bad thing. Like if
this Gargano comes out to help Orange, and if it's O'Reilly, comes out to help Cole,
or they have a stare down, like they're gonna do a thing, and then here comes Bobby Fish, and they're all in the middle together, and they do a big old hug,
right?
And then it creates some animosity between them, between Cole and the Bucks.
Right.
So then we kind of get the dissension pieces, or they just grow the Elite a little bit. Then when Omega comes, then they make the
kind of like have this uneasy alliance. And then when Steen comes in next year, then you could have the split sans Kenny, because you can have Steen go with the Bucks against the Undisputeds.
Yeah,
I like that actually a lot.
You're welcome.
And it keeps
I have a mind for wrestling,
and it keeps them all out of title hunts too. So you can have this is how you can have good feuds without having everybody in the title. Just say, there's a company that based out of Connecticut that could take notes, and maybe you could do some things. So,
hey, we know what we're doing. We got scantily clad women in NXT now. That's what all the young people want. You remember that Hit Row thing? We didn't get them, so we just got rid of them. Fuck them. Because that's not what the young people want. They don't want hip hop music. They want scantily clad women who have never wrestled a day in their life before they showed up here. So they're not really that good at wrestling. That's what the people want.
Well, I disagree with you, Bruce, because match of the night for Dynamite was two not scantily clad women who knocked it out of the fucking park.
Exactly, and I'm glad you went with me because that's exactly where I was leading up. I'm so proud of you.
Come on, man. What, you think I'm not a simpleton? We've been doing this for almost a year now, Jamie. I can get this. It took us a while to figure out how to record everything properly. I probably still am not doing it right, but
whatever.
I can take a segue. So, Ruby Soho, Ruby, and Kris Statlander. The crowd was behind them. Boop. Yes, the crowd was behind them, and I'm so happy. This was definitely a match of the night by far. And this coming with last week's match. I mean, 2 matches. Come on, 2 women's matches. Let's get it going, because
I think it's going to happen when they move to TBS.
I think so, because then they'll have, once again, like we talked about, they'll have 2 different silos. They'll have the women's championship. You'll have the TBS title, so you can put women in different feuds, and yes, it's going to be good. So
it's going to be beautiful. This match, though, oh my God, it had everything I wanted. Kris Statlander looked phenomenal as usual. Ruby Soho is the same Ruby Soho that we all have known and loved, that WWE had no fucking clue what to do with her, just because she had a few tattoos. My God. And
I mean, it starts off like a very good catch match almost. They're going, and the pacing was stellar. They went through a commercial break, but they held the pacing in a fantastic way to go through it. So it started off very catch, back and forth, coyness. Both of them held back on a big shot they could have taken, because they're both face. So. Yep, and then it got picked up a little bit, and then there was a little bit of Statlander and then Ruby volley back and forth during the commercial break, and then came back, and it was just like high pace reversals, reversal action, very well organized, paced match. So whoever produced it, whatever. So if that was solely on the 2 women, or if anybody else was involved with it, they did a fantastic job, because, like I said, it went along. And Ruby had some big shots at the end, and Kris kept countering, and then Kris pulled in a few big shots there.
Sit out powerbomb.
The powerbomb was nice. It was almost like a spin. It was almost a Liger bomb, like a 1-arm Liger, almost.
Almost, yeah. And my favorite was when she did the poison Rana, or the spike, the reverse spike.
Yeah, she was setting her up for something, because she picked her up by one arm, Statlander did. I was going to go to the corner and throw her or whatever, but Ruby kind of blocked it and finagled, and then converted that to fall over the back of Statlander into a poison Rana, and followed it up with a short throw off the ropes Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
A great combo.
This match, like, it deserves a rewatch from me just because it was poetry again. Like, I love making the comparison sometimes that wrestling is art.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because it tells a great story, right? And this match did that because he had two faces. They did a really good job of keeping face, and no one really did, you know, the heel of the night type
harm
crap.
on anybody.
And both of them came out looking strong, especially when Nyla Rose came out at the very end, you know, and got Ruby after Vicky. Excuse me, distracted Kris Statlander.
Excuse me,
very cool.
Statlander.
Yeah, it was good. So, like, there's a lot of great things that happen with this match, and again, like, AEW's women's division is getting so much better.
It's getting so close. It's so close.
Losing Swole kind of hurts it in the depth department, but it was one of those things that they could afford because she has some stuff going on again.
She hasn't been out there for a while, really. You know, she had a little feud with Diamante, but even that's gone cold, and so.
Yeah, and they got a lot of young talent. You know, I mean, they got Sky Blue. They have Red Velvet. They have a lot of these young. Really strong women that are out there, and they have Jade Cargill. Jesus, is it just me, or literally every match she gotten like 10% better? Every single match, consistently.
She's getting consistently better, and that's going to happen. She's only been wrestling for like 2.5 years, or maybe 2.5 years now. So, you know, plus she goes an ab. She goes an ab every other month. So I mean, you know, that always helps. But
yeah, she is more shredded than Julian Salad, man.
Yeah,
that's all there
absolutely is. So we're down to 4 for the TBS title, and the championship, the winner will be decided on the inaugural TBS Dynamite. So the 4 that are left are Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, Ruby Soho.
Yep.
I'm sticking with my prediction of Ruby. I think it's going to be Ruby. I think it's going to Ruby over Jade. Although I really, 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 really want to see Ruby Thunder Rosa final. I really do.
Yeah, because it'd be Ruby Rosa too. No, they've never. They had the moment.
They had the moment at the end of the end of the battle royal. But that wasn't an actual match. It wasn't like the type of battle royal where you get to 2 and then you wrestle. It was still part of the battle royal. So they haven't fought yet, but I don't think it's going to be so cut and dry. I kind of hope it is, because I think that'd be a better match. But
because of the Riho thing, it could be this now, since Riho got her title shot.
Well, but she's getting her title shot at Winter is Coming.
Yeah. So
that's in 2 weeks, and it's going to be in 2 weeks after. So I don't know when these semifinal matches are happening. They didn't announce one for next week's Dynamite yet. I think one might be on Winter is Coming. Maybe both of them on Winter is Coming. No, they're not going to have 3 women's matches on Winter is Coming.
No, they're going to have one then, and I think they're going to have one on Rampage. I thought they announced it. I could have sworn they announced
I didn't see them announce it. I know they announced that Rampage this week has Jade Cargill versus Jade Denial. No, not Jade Denial. It's one of Thunder Rosa's Mission Pro girls, one of her proteges.
Yeah. I can't think of her name.
I apologize. I can't remember her name. But then Thunder Rosa is going to be on commentary. So there's that. So whatever. It's going to be some semblance in the next few weeks here. So Riho's getting her shot at Britt on Winter is Coming. And after that, I think the Riho angle's done with Britt. You know, I think that was just a filler anyway to get to Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be Ruby and Rosa. My whole argument, no matter what, is I don't think Rosa's going to win this title because she's going to move into feud with Britt culminating at Revolution. That's my thought.
No, I agree, but I think so. This is what I think, especially after the promo stuff that happened between Hayter and Britt today or last night. That so they are going to have Thunder Rosa win. I really believe Thunder Rosa is going to win. No, she's going to lose in the finals to Ruby. I'm Team Ruby.
Jade.
Yes.
Okay.
I really believe that's the case. So Jade Cargill will lose, and I think they'll have the final there. And then this is where Thunder Rosa gets screwed over by Britt, so she doesn't get a title.
Okay.
And then that sets up the feud for Revolution between Thunder Rosa and Britt. So we get Britt Rosa 3.
And that's how you saying that's how they're going to move into it, where I was thinking it'd be just a little bit more organic, sort of, because they already have the built-in hate. And, to give because my view on that is you don't need to do that to get that heat. The heat is already there between the two of them, both, just in a natural sense and also through the story as you keep going, because they constantly throw a little shade at each other all the time, in their promos, in kayfabe, but so I don't think you need to make the heat for that. It's there, and
if they cost her a title, then it's gonna kick it up a notch to a level that it hasn't been to.
It does, but then again, when is Revolution? Is that in February?
March.
So then you're still 2 months out. That to me is a little bit too soon of a burn to go with, because if you have it go in to have that big of a heat at January 1, you've got X number of days, and you got 2 months till you get to the next pay-per-view, which is where I think where we believe they want to do this at, right? So either you could do the thing of, like where you have she gets a shot and then it gets taken away from her, and then you can build it back up so that by the time you get to Revolution, you can drop the belt. Or, this is my thought here, you want to give the belts a clean first win. This is the inaugural, so having it win dirty, or having it win with anything with interference or anything involved in it, might diminish the perception in my book. Is like you'd rather have it be a clean win. So if it is Rosa and Ruby, let's say, nobody gets involved, and whoever wins it clean, so they have it, to start clean. That's my only other consideration.
Then counterpoint to that is for Rosa, because she is so high up there, she cannot lose clean. That's just the thing. She cannot lose clean, because how could she lose to Ruby, then all of a sudden just turn her eyes to Britt? You know what I mean? Like, there has to be something there in order to,
because rankings matter, and if she loses to Ruby, which, you're not saying that as a slight to Ruby, because she could lose to, wrestling wise, the two are probably on equal footing, ish, but I'm with you, because rankings matter in AEW. So if she loses, even though it's the finals, she has that loss, and it would have to be reflected in her ranking. So how could she jump to the front of the line? I hear you. Well, that's why I believe. See, I want to see Ruby Rosa, but that's why I think when it comes down to Cargill and Rosa, that that Jade will win, and maybe that's by dirtiness from Jamie Hayter or Britt Baker or whatever. I don't know. We don't know when these matches are happening either, so they could be next week on Rampage. It could be. I mean, we got several weeks. They're trying to space them out somewhat, because, like, once again, the finals are the first show in January, so we've got a whole month to get there, and there's 2 matches to build up before that. So we'll see what happens.
I just think that in order to make sure Rosa still looks strong, she has to lose dirty. She cannot lose clean. And it has to be done by one of Britt's cronies or Britt herself in order to cost her that, in order to rekindle that feud. Because the seed was dropped again by Jamie Hayter that, hey, you lost a match, and it was your defining moment match, and like, we're not talking about the past, like talking about how she lost to Rose. Like, there it is. Planted that seed again. That is the next feud, and that's the feud everybody wants to see. And I don't want to see it in Labor Day. I want to see it in March.
Right, but I just think though, because even if you have her lose clean, you still got 2 months to get her to the point. And like I said, because the heat exists organically with that, you can start them fresh and build it up quickly enough where it makes sense that she gets the opportunity. We'll see how they do it. So that was Dynamite. Like I said, there's a lot going on this weekend. We will be back on Thursday, give you guys the results of our NXT War Games. Oh, you didn't?
War Games!
You're slipping on me there, Jamie.
No.
Pay-per-view pick results, see who got our little toy belt. Also give you updated on GCW, AAA. AAA is going to be amazing. I just know it. As well as latest going on is Impact elsewhere around. Keep an eye out, like we said, for Journey Pro KC information tickets. We believe are going on sale next week. Should be going on sale on Monday. But at the time of this recording, they have not announced officially when tickets are going on sale. But that could change depending on what's out there by the time this is released. So keep an eye out. Yeah, that's what we got. So we'll be back next Thursday, talk about Dynamite and everything else that's going on. Jamie, do you have anything else?
No, thank you for your time. Don't forget to find out the safe word that the subscribe button is using, and definitely smash that like button.
Or tickle it if you don't want to smash it. You can tickle it. It's fine.
Tickle it just a little bit.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week. Jamie, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down Total Spotfest, I only have one word. It's 2 words, but it's combined into one this time. I verified it on the internet. War Games!
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.